A warm welcome to you. I'm Esther Gishuki, and this is Agri News. On to our first story of the day. A deadlock between the National Irrigation Board and Israeli farm Green Arava over how much money was meant to be spent on repair works at Galana Kulalu food security project is expected to be resolved by September. This even as NIB takes over the maize model farm of about 1,500 acres.
Located in Tana River and Kilifi counties, Galana Kulalu promised to address food shortages in the country and make maize flour cheaper for Kenyans. Construction work at this food security project started in September 2014 and was set to be completed in 18 months. But this is yet to happen.
There was issues concerning contract management between the contractor and the employer, which is NIB. And currently, we are trying to resolve the issue.
Irrigation Principal Secretary Fred Sigor was here to assert the project is not a white elephant. This despite a deadlock between the National Irrigation Board and the contractor Green Arava.
Galana Kulalu is not a failed project, the way the chairman has said. Of course, the expectation of this project was that it ought to have been completed. So really, we've taken so much time. But I want to assure Kenyans that indeed the issue of producing maize in this Galana farm is successful because already we are doing the third crop.
The two sides are feuding over repair works after River Galana changed its course and diverted water away from the farm. Green Arava said repair works would cost 700 million shillings, a figure NIB refuted and went ahead to do the repairs at a cost of 38 million shillings. Green Arava are now waiting for a resolution from a committee constituted by the Ministry of Agriculture to resolve the stalemate. Office of the Attorney General, National Treasury and the Presidential Delivery Unit are involved in the discussions.
It's separation now, so until the divorce comes, contractor is still here. But we are waiting for the solution. Once we get that divorce, then he will be out.
Meanwhile, the National Irrigation Board expects to harvest at least 30 bags of maize per acre from 1,500 acres.
You are aware that equipment which are here, one, if you don't use an equipment, it will start deteriorating. And therefore, one aspect of NIB carrying out a production is to ensure that we make use of the equipment which is owned by the government.
National Irrigation Board is also targeting cotton and legumes production in 300 acres and 80 acres respectively. 2
center pivots dedicated to production of cotton. As you are aware, we also want to find out how cotton does under irrigation in this part of the land. In addition, we are also having a pilot also on pasture development. And also the other legumes.
According to the National Irrigation Board, Galana Kulalu model farm is 85% complete. 5.9 billion shillings has been paid to the contractor and 2.4 billion is yet to be spent. NIB is currently increasing the capacity of the pumping station by installing 5 additional pumps.
The dairy sector is one of the agricultural practices that most counties in Kenya are embracing as a way of eradicating farmers out of poverty. While most farmers are being sensitized to improve their dairy breeds, there is one farm in Uasin Gishu County which has embraced another kind of technology, also known as IDA, the Intelligent Dairy Farmer's Assistant. Our reporter Jacqueline Kemunto attended one of the farming training sessions that usually are offered at the farm, and she filed the following report.
Ilula Farm is one of the medium-scale dairy farms located in Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County. The farm started its dairy farming operations back in 2014 with a cattle herd of 39 animals, producing a total of 48,226 liters of milk per year. In 2019, the farm has since grown to 48 milking cows, producing more than 235,000 liters of milk per year, with a cattle herd of 40 milking cows and 60 heifers. Welcoming us at the farm was Esther Koimet, the owner of the farm, also the principal secretary in the transport docket.
We are doing a little bit of everything, but mainly we are tending now towards doing dairy. and horticulture, vegetables mainly. And then obviously we plant animal feed. So for example, when you see the maize that is here, it's actually maize for animal feed. So we'll cut it when the time comes into silage, just to feed the animals. I have a manager here who's a very experienced person, and you know everything falls and rises with management. So he's the one on the ground. He's the one who runs the farm.
Before we were allowed into the farm, we were instructed on the health and safety precautions that are usually laid for any breeder farm, and one of them entailed washing our feet at the foot bath availed by the farm right at the entrance of the farm. According to Magut, the implementation of IDA has been a true eye-opener for him, as he instantly saw the practical way in which IDA monitors the behavior of his cows. Actionable insights provided by IDA's analytics was a very different way of managing his cattle herds as compared to only relying on the farmer's own gut feeling and experience. During the installation of IDA, Magut was mainly fascinated that an IDA technician could tell him what is happening at the farm based on the insights. For example, the number of feeding times per cow is shown. Like most of the other farmers in Kenya, Mr. Magut had been struggling to improve the milk production of his herd, mainly caused by challenges on sourcing for high-quality feeds and improving genetics.
This farm has been there for quite a long time, but that not been utilized properly. And then we thought of working on it now and improving it around 5 years ago. And we started actually working on a serious note 5 years ago. Mungu amejalia sisi, amepatia sisi akili kidogo, tunaongea na ng'ombe yetu. Sasa ile anasikia tumbo iko mbaya ama anakupatia chakula mbaya, anapikia mzimu. Anasema kuja angalia mimi nena hapa sio mzuri. Mimi bwana iko salama.
When it comes to feeds, we got to learn that the animals at Ilula farm are usually fed on natural feeds which are formulated at the farm.
I will not allow my cows to starve. You will go into hollow belly disease. For me now, what has happened here, naona ile mahindi. That's now my current finding. Nakata, we'll it for a day, leave it, ichache kidogo, ipucha hapa, mimi na mixi wanapita hiyo machine inakuja hapa. Na mimi naweka sali kidogo. Sali, that's already like silage now. Because kwa sababu nimekosa. Otherwise my main feed is silage. It's about 18 kilos for 20 liter cow, around 16 or about 15 liter cow, around 14 somewhere there kilos for ego this atapatia vijana yangu taeleza nyinyi. So what I'm doing now here is that I've changed. Otherwise this was the silage I had. So inaelekea kukwisha.
Being one of the renowned large-scale dairy farmers in Uasin Gishu County, Esther Koimet concludes by posing a challenge to aspiring women farmers to come out and speak if they are in need of any policies to be passed or changes in the already set policies.
We can do it. We can do it. And for us, because I also work for government, if there are issues where women feel that they need government support, they need policy some policy pronouncement to help, they should be able to reach out to us and let us know, either through through whichever channel. There is obviously also a Ministry of Gender that looks at gender issues and so on, and we need to make sure that we are connecting onto the ground, listening to women, listening to how we can facilitate them, because they really do a lot.
Reporting for Farmers TV, I'm Jacqueline Kemunto.
ICRAF Geoscience Lab, in partnership with IUCN with funding from DFID, have developed a semi-offline Android app that can be used by extension officers, foresters, ecologists and farmers to identify suitable tree species for their surroundings. The app is an initiative in an effort by ICRAF to encourage reforestation and mitigation of climate change effects. Our reporter Hilda Kibet with more.
The Africa Tree Finder application enables you to find suitable tree species at your location. According to Dr. Jonathan Muriuki, Kenya's representative for ICRAF, the application can only be used within the East African countries of Kenya and Uganda, This easy-to-use application shows you data on the distribution of indigenous tree species in different natural vegetation types, combined with information on the products and services that the tree species can provide. The application has simplified the task of identifying a tree species by giving the user the option of selecting basic major uses like wood, human consumption, environmental use, and animal consumption, after which they can get a listing of species.
Our organization has produced an app called Africa Tree Species Finder. Wherever you're standing on the Google platform, you can download it from the Google platform, and then it will be able to tell you where you are, what trees you can grow for what purposes in that area. And anybody with an Android phone can get that one. It's a free app. Google Play Store, you look for Africa Tree Finder app, and then you download it onto your phone. And then when you go into the app, you just select your area.
The application also arms local community members, government agencies, private sector owners, and other land managers with the information you need to select the best tree species for your landscape restoration or agroforestry effort.
And because it's based on the Google map, Google Earth, to be able to identify your area, and then you can say, I want trees for timber. You select trees for timber, it's going to give you a big list, and that list is also prioritized, like this would be best for you, then this one, then this one, this one. Trees for fruits, this would be best for you, this would be best for you. These are exotics, these are indigenous. And then it also connects you to a lot of our materials, which we call the agroforestry switchboard, that can tell you more about the trees and where you can get the seedlings, or you can get the seeds. So the app connects you to a huge library of information that we have developed for almost 2 decades. You look at trees that can be planted for wood, timber, firewood, and building materials. There are quite a number of them. Eucalyptus is a major one. You need to plant it away from water streams because of it. It's a very thirsty tree species. We have others like Casuarina. It's called whistling pine. It mainly grows at the coast, but also grows in the semi-arid lands. We have others like Graveria robusta. It is growing very much in Mount Kenya area. If you go to Meru, we almost have every farm covered by us, by that, and quite a number of others that are producing wood. But then there are a few others that produce other utilities, like fonda for livestock. We have a species called Cariandra that came from Mexico, others called Lucinas, and other trees that are also grown for firewood. So especially in the dry areas, the acacias, the terminarias are trees you can grow for firewood.
Reporting for Farmers TV, I'm Hilda Kibet.
The increasing human population is leading to increased land pressure. Consequently, the smaller land sizes cannot support dairy cattle farming. Hence, most farmers are now embracing dairy goat farming as it requires less space and feed management. Valentine Atieno features one such farmer in Uasin Gishu County who rears dairy goats mainly for dairy.
Walking into 31-year-old Stephen Langat's compound in Rescourse Ward in Uasin Gishu County, one is usually met with an array of various livestock such as dairy cows, sheep, young goats and poultry. Though he has his dairy herd, Langat revealed that he prefers dairy goat farming as compared to dairy cattle.
What attracted me to buy these goats, it is because of the space. It occupies a small space. You see, right now I have 8 goats, and this space is occupying like another 5. That's around 14. 14 of them, it's not like a cow. You cannot keep 14 cows here. So this one occupies a smaller space, and at the same time, feeding them is very minimal, not like a cow. Yeah. So it was easy for me to set up this one more than setting up a place for a cow.
Currently, Langat boasts of 8 dairy goats on his quarter-acre farm. Abili and several kids with the animals begin German Alpine, Toggenburg, and the Sannen breeds.
Right now I have like 3 breeds. I have the Sannen, this is a Toggenburg, this is a Sannen, and then German Alpine. The Sannen it's whitish in color. It's completely white. It doesn't have any other color. And then the production, it's called the king of the milk. This one, it's well fed. It has to give you up to 7 liters a day. And then the Toggenburg, it's it's grayish, sort of grayish. And then the German Alpha, is brown with a black stripe. What I normally do is give them this subsidized food, that's a dairy meal, early in the morning and in the evening, around 10, 11 up. Then we give them normal grass. Blackjack, they are very good with them. They just like blackjack, so we give them that one. They enjoy eating blackjack and the normal grass.
Langat continues to reveal that his goats produce an average of 3 liters of milk in a day, offering him 24 liters. Once he deducts some few liters for the kids, Langat revealed that he makes up to 6,000 Kenya shillings from the sale of goat milk.
That is 3 liters per goat. I have several clients, but not most of them. Normally the milk is not sold all of it. Part of it we use in the house, part of it we sell them to some clients.
Langat aspires to venture fully into dairy goat farming and become one of the biggest breeder farms in the country.
No, I sell the goats. In fact, what I want to do majorly is I want to do breeding. I want to go breeding because milk is becoming a problem in terms of market. So if I do breeding, because most people right now, they are trying to venture into the same, they're looking for these goats. So I want to do breeding and then I'll be selling the goats.
Reporting for KTN Farmers TV, I'm Valentine Atieno.
On today's roundup, farmers in Nyandarua County are up in arms over the ignorance on the ban of extended bags. The farmers said brokers buy the commodity in extended bags of 110 kilograms, which they later repackage into bags of 50 kgs before they're sold off to other markets.
The new potato regulations set were to come into place with immediate action, with the regulations requiring potato farmers to get registered with the county government. Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mwangi Kiunjuri said this will enable the government to get the number of potato farmers in the country. Nyandarua Potato Growers Association Chairman Wilfred Kimaru said that the national government and the county government have been slow in enforcing the Potato Act and that their efforts to push for the enactment have been ignored. Potatoes worth millions of money have been rotting in farms as farmers are not willing to sell them to middlemen. Elsewhere, ministers for agriculture from across the continent gathered in Kigali, Rwanda from August 5th to 6th for the Africa Food Security Leadership Dialogue. The dialogue facilitated engagement between key stakeholders to galvanize unified action around adaptation of Africa's agriculture and food security systems to climate change. At the Kigali meeting, the co-partners signed a communique that will formalize a commitment to better coordinate and facilitate joint actions. The document was also available for endorsement by all attendees. Elsewhere, Uganda has now joined her counterparts Kenya and Ethiopia in supplying flowers to the lucrative and huge China market. The entry followed numerous trial shipments by Rosebud Limited, the country's largest exporter of roses, which culminated from its participation in the just concluded China-Africa Economic and Trade Expo held in Henan and Kunming provinces of China. The first ever commercial shipment of flowers from Rosebud left Entebbe International Airport to Beijing, China on July 29th.
On today's international stories, President Trump last week adding 10% tariffs on another $300 billion shilling in imports from September 1st, making an abrupt escalation of the trade war between the world's largest economies shortly after the two sides restarted talks. Bureaucrats in Beijing were stunned by Trump's announcement, according to Chinese officials who have been involved in the trade talks. And Beijing has said if the U.S. insists on adding the extra tariffs, China will be stepping away from further USA farm imports, and said it doesn't rule out more tariffs after President Donald Trump ratcheted up tensions with its biggest agricultural trading partner last week. The Chinese government has asked its state-owned enterprises to suspend purchases of USA agricultural products, people with the situation said. Also, Chinese crushers that received tariff waivers on American soybeans from Beijing have stopped buying the commodity due to uncertainty over trade. Chinese buyers have turned to the South American soybeans, and the Asian nation said that it doesn't rule out for now taxing American agricultural goods that were traded after 3rd August. The ministry also confirmed relevant Chinese firms have stopped purchasing American agricultural goods. Now let's look at how different agricultural commodities are performing in different markets across the country. That's all we had for you today on Agri News. I'm Esther Gishuki. Until next time, goodbye.